Hello, welcome to the A to Z YouTube channel. My name is Toby Allen. I'm in charge of engineering and producing at this studio. And we are today going to be looking at the brand new amp sim from Bogan Digital called MLC S093. Now let's have a listen to how it sounds in the context of a song. That sounds pretty savage. I kind of like it. I like it. I am affiliated with Bogan Digital, and if you use the link below, then I will actually get commission on any purchases through that. However, I am a big fan of Bogan Digital's products anyway, and that's why I have this relationship with them. All thoughts and opinions given in this video are in fact my own. All that aside, let's have a look at this new plugin. It looks very similar in terms of the interface to the MLC S0 amp sim, and that makes sense. It's the same company, it's the same brand of amp that's being simulated here. The difference being is that this one is a completely different type of amp design. The original one, S0 100, that one is essentially like a modded British amp kind of sound. Not necessarily a high gain sound, but certainly capable of chugs, whereas this one is specifically a high gain amp, and it is built from the ground up along with the guitarist from Dimmu Borgir, and it is designed on a brand new circuit to be high gain and vicious and savage and ideal for extreme metal. So let's have a look closer at the interface and see what the controls are and everything. So you've got obviously the amp here. There's three different modes. So you've got a green mode, you have a orange mode, and a red mode. So essentially clean, crunch, and lead. But they all, like, I mean, here, let's just go over here and turn off the distortion pedal. So here we're going straight into the clean channel, and if you bring the gain up, not exactly what I would call a clean amp. Even on the low gain setting, it's still a little bit of dirt going on there, which is nice. So you've got three different modes on there, and you've also got the option to change between KT88s and 6L6s. You've got a slightly different variation in the flavour on those. So the 6L6 is kind of a bit warmer and a bit beefier, whereas the KT88 is a bit brighter and a bit tighter. From my experience of messing around with this amp sim, at least. And then you've also got three different pedals which you can put in front of the amp. So we've got here a distortion, which has four different modes on it. So 4 different flavors of distortion from that one pedal. And then you've got a green pedal, which is most likely a tube screamer sounding boy. And then you've also got an octave on there as well. And as with the S0100, what I like with this, and I've seen a few other amp sim makers as well, so you can still control the amp while you're on this page. So you see here, like, you can still turn the gain. It's a little bit harder to see, of course, because how small it is and sort of grayed out, but the fact that you can do that without having to flip back and forward between the two screens is very nice. So let's we'll go back to the default preset. There, default preset, which is like this. And then turn the octave on. So you've got, this is your direct, so that's no octave effect. Then you've got octave 1 and octave 2. If we turn octave 2 down, octave 1, it's kind of a bit crazy, but if you put a bit of direct in as well. That's fun. And if we put on octave 2, now I think if we like, on its own it sounds a bit ridiculous. I think the way that this works best is if you kind of blend it in subtly, like if you're doing a breakdown and everything slows down, you want everything to really hit harder, then you can just whack this on for the breakdown, just kind of extra girth. I think that's where that effect shines. But it's cool to have that option on there to have different sounds and stuff. So I'm just going to quickly go through the modes on the distortion here. What I've done is just whack the tone right now. We'll put the tone about there. We'll put a bit of distortion in and we'll turn the level down. So on mode 1, and if you highlight the mode, it actually tells you what they are. So 1 is Schottky, 2 is impulse, 3 is germanium, and 4 is LED. That's the clipping diode. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. So from my ears, it sounds like you're getting less distorted as you go across, but also getting more tighter as you go across as well. So that's really cool to have all those different options. And then you've got the green over here. So we'll put that onto a kind of classic screamer mode. And then off. I think with the tone all the way up, it's a bit much. That sounds pretty great, yeah. So that's really good. So then I go over to cab, we'll just flick between the modes. So I've left that screamer effect on, and this is this is mode 1. So yeah, I would say mode 1 is more of a crunch kind of channel, to be honest. So you've got like almost like crunch rhythm lead, perhaps, with the modes. We're gonna adjust some of these as I'm chugging. So here we have. Right, let's try on mode 2. I like with these here, except for, I'd say, the middle. The middle's very, very strong and powerful, and it goes from very, very scooped to very, very boosted. Well, not boosted, but you know what I mean. Very, very present middle. The others are all a bit more subtle, and they're musical in even the extreme positions, which I think is really nice. Rather than like you have to kind of really work to get a usable, dialable, nice tone. Pretty much you can leave them almost anywhere and they still sound good. And it's then just further tweaking to your taste, which I think is really cool. So I'm just going to try chugging between the 6L6 and the KT88 switch. Relatively subtle, but definitely a discernible difference between those. Right, let's go over to mode 3, so that's the red channel. There's a lot of gain and saturation, but what amazes me is when you do those chords, still very clear. There's a lot of clarity still, even with that amount of gain and that amount of dirt, which is really impressive. So let's go back again to the default preset. We'll move over now to the cab section. So as with the previous MLC S0, there is the IR-DX dial, so you can turn it on and off, but you can also dial that, and we talked a bit about that in the previous video, so we'll move on. Then you've got basically two different cabs to choose from, modern cab and a vintage cab, and you've got various microphones you can choose from on there as well. Then you can adjust the microphone here. You can adjust between distance and position. You can also turn it on and off. You can also flip polarity on there. You can also change the angle as well. Again, I'm just going to go back to default preset. And then you've also got, so you can do a second speaker. You can blend between the two. You can also load in your own IRs going here. And again, you can apply that IR-DX technology onto your IRs that you load in as well. Then you've also got an EQ. So it's graphic EQ, so you can make some further tweaks to your sound. So like for example, you could whack in some 1K, which makes it sound more djenty, for example. So yeah, you've got some further tonal options on there as well. And then you've also got your delay and your reverb. So delay, you can ping pong, so that's what we're doing right now. You can hear it bouncing between the two sides. We turn that off, more central. And then you've also got sync, so you can use this to sync up with your metronome, so you can change the tempo. If you're in your DAW, then of course that would sync to the tempo of the song. And then you've also got, you can change obviously the time. If you're on the sync mode, then it will actually show up as notes. If you're not on sync mode, it will show up as milliseconds. So yeah, that gets quite out of control if you want it to, which is great fun. Then we've also got a reverb. And you can choose actually to low cut, so you can have it so it's just like just up in the high, which kind of makes it sit more in the background if you do that. And then you can also do a high cut as well. No high cut. Very, very low high cut. Yeah, you've got some tonal options on there, which is nice. And then you can use the decay to choose how long the reverb tail is. So it's kind of your bedroom guitar sound, like amp in the room, all the way up to stadium. You can pretend that you're a rock star and then come all the way back down home to sounding like you're playing at home. My thoughts are on this one that it sounds really great. It's actually a really unique sound. I've not heard another amp sim that sounds quite like this one. There's a kind of gritty, grainy / fuzziness to the amp tone, which I really like. But even though it has that, it still has that clarity, so you can hear all of the notes. It's an enigma. The way to describe the sound doesn't make sense. It's like really gritty and fuzzy, but still clear. It's almost like there's the gritty fuzziness that's kind of blended in parallel to a cleaner but still distorted kind of sound, particularly in modes 2 and 3. And it sounds really nice for rhythm and for leads as well. All of that to say, I really like it, and I really like how it sounds, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. There's a free trial that you can download and have a play with, and if you do decide to buy it, then as I said before, please consider using my affiliate link. That helps out the channel, helps support everything that we're doing here, and helps to keep us going and making more videos. So thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen, give us a thumb and give us a subscribe, and we will see you next time.